Okay, so this is like probably like number 6 in my series, and this series is Never Trust a Hippie. I think it's number 6. I'm gonna call this one Danger. I'm gonna call this one Danger. This is something that people will not know unless they've actually lived in these communities. But like, so in the average world of like people, whatever, if you just like take 100 people or something, it's something like 1% psychopaths. Like psychopaths mean they're gonna, a murderer. It's look it up. A psychopath just means that they kind of have no feeling, and they manipulate, and they manipulate for goals that they have. And if everyone's lucky around them, their goals will not have too much harm. But if it does, it doesn't matter. So a psychopath is just about goals, right? Then you have like it's like 1%, something like that, like 1 out of 100. You know what I mean? Um, I think I think maybe it's a bit higher. I don't know. In my life, I've honestly, I'm not fucking lying. When I might have met people I think are psychopaths, but I've met one person who I spent some time with who was a psychopath in my life. So I think about 1% is right. Very dangerous people, very destructive to the people around them. But this guy, for instance, who was a psychopath, was very successful, and that kind of goes with the thing of being a psychopath, right? I think generally, if like you're not a dumb psychopath, you can probably do pretty well in your life. Like I say, in my life, I've met one person, only one really, where I'm like, that guy's a psychopath, and I'm not going to dox myself, but yeah, he's high up in where I work, if you know what I mean. And okay, so we've got 1% of like you take a random 100 people from the street, one will be a psychopath. Then you'll take like the same kind of thing, 100 people, and maybe 1% or 2% will be an actual narcissist, right? I think it's probably 2% because I've met more proper narcissists than the one psychopath that I've met in my life, right? And the narcissists weren't quite as good at being very successful. I'm sure there's very successful narcissists, whatever. But my point is, so if we add those two together, those two percentages or whatever, we're talking like some maximum like 3 or something percent, right? 3% of the population are going to be a psychopath or a narcissist at that level where it's like clinical, you know? And now, if you're actually in like hippie communities, you know, um, it's a lot more. It's like insane. I think I said in one of my videos before, one of my, this is a series that I'm making for you guys or for the world. It's Never Trust a Hippie series. Somewhere in one of my other videos, I talked about the percentage when you're in these communities. I just touched on it, who are like dangerous narcissists or dangerous psychopaths. And it's because there's this kind of ethos or whatever, or belief in the whole hippie community. It's just like it's very open. People are more open than they are in normal society. It's like, oh, I'm not living in the rat race anymore. Everything's beautiful, you know, like people are great, everyone's nice, that kind of shit. Like, you know, when you're living in that shit, it makes sense. And also, it's like kind of like you go a little bit further away from, you know, if you don't like the rat race and you see how bad it is, you go to the hippie or the alternative life, and it's like, well, everyone, if you're young and stupid, right? It's like, which I was myself, but that's why I understand it. It's like, oh no, everyone's just cool here. Everyone's just cool and friendly and happy and nice and stuff. But what that creates is a perfect, almost pool of victims, right? And so it attracts predators. So it will attract some psychopaths, and it will attract some the dangerous level narcissists. You know, that the ones, okay, you know, like they could be doing other things. You know, the whole idea about these people is that they go up in society and they'll work in banks or whatever. Yeah, yeah, you know, not all of them. Some of them are kind of predatory, and they might have some money and shit. And actually, the ones I think are dangerous that I've met have had a bit of money, but they will be attracted to the hippie community, if you know what I mean, because it's like, I don't know, it's like a juicier victim. Do you know what I mean? It's like these people are just believing and welcoming and come sit with me and I'll understand you or whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? Like the kind of weaker. They're not weak is not the word. They're easier to prey on. So what happens in these communities, right, is you end up with a higher percentage of psychopaths and a higher percentage of dangerous narcissistic predators because it's a prey. The hippie community is easy prey for them, if you know what I mean. So it's like, yeah, so I'd say just putting the numbers out, maybe it's, yeah, like, I don't know, look on fucking Google or something, it'll be 1% in the population psychopaths, or 2 or 3% or something narcissists. And I would say, like, in the hippie fucking community, we're talking like 15 to 20% will be like predators who are wearing the mask of the hippie shit, hiding behind it, and really bad things happen because of that. And this is why, number 6, you should never fucking trust a hippie.